Seraph?
David's just stepped out for a moment, Mr. Jensen. But do come in. I've been hoping to meet you.
Mr. Darrow. I'm surprised you even know who I am.
David speaks very highly of you. He says that when it comes to detective work, you are like a dog with a bone. Have you found your scientist yet?
What else did David tell you?
Over the years, plenty. But today I'm here as a friend and fellow scientist. Things are getting quite turbulent out there, wouldn't you agree? So many people drunk on revolution. The United Nations being urged to intervene. And all because of the technology I created.
Things have come a long way since then.
Haven't they? And now my old friend David wants me to lead us to the Promised Land. He's asked me to invite members of the UN to Panchaea, to convince them we don't need industry regulation.
Your geoengineering project in the Arctic Ocean.
The installation couldn't have been built without the assistance of augmented workers. And when it's finished, my little hole in the ocean is going to stop global warming. A lovely photo op, wouldn't you say?
If it works.
You mean, if it doesn't kill us all?
Adam? You're back. Can I speak to you outside? Get to the helipad, son. You're going back to Hengsha Island. Frank tracked down one of the GPLs.
Only one? Is it?
Sevchenko's. But Adam, we had to call in a favor of the DOD to do it.
Meaning, the conspirators probably know I'm coming.
You're Adam Jensen, right? The security chief here? Your men did a good job securing this building when the riot broke out.
Access granted.
Boss said we're heading back to Hengsha?
Pritchard tracked Sevchenko's GPL signal. If he's alive, there's a chance the rest of them are too.
That's a pretty big leap, Jensen.
We've been making big leaps for a while now.
Whatever you say. You ready to get going?
No time like the present. Let's get going.
Then hop in. Bad news, Spy Boy.
Spy boy.
Hengsha Traffic Control just revoked our clearance. We're being rerouted to another part of the city.
I don't like that. I suppose you can't just ignore them.
Yeah, right. Chinese government. I've got to comply. Bravo Echo Echo 008, proceeding to designated coordinates. What the hell? We've got a sandlock on our tail. Jensen, all systems are down. Hang on, we're going in hard. Jump, Jensen!
Malik, we've got company.
I know, but the bird took some damage. Gonna need to patch it up before I can go.
I'll stay and cover you.
Negative! You need to get away from here and find Dr. Savchenko. I'll be fine.
You'll be a sitting duck.
Maybe, maybe not. But this is your best chance to slip by them unnoticed, and you know it. So get out of here, Jensen.
I heard that. Come out. Cover me! Don't make me!
Jensen? The bird's fixed and I'm taking off. Now get on with the damned mission. And thanks, Spy Boy.
Jensen, I've been monitoring comm activity around Hengsha. Bell Tower's looking for you. Hard.
I know. They ambushed us, Pritchard. Forced us to make an emergency landing. Malik barely got away in time.
But they're supposed to be...
The good guys?
Just give them a wide berth, Jensen. If they recognize you, they'll shoot. Jensen, it's Pritchard. Have you been watching the news?
Been a bit busy, Francis.
Jensen, the World Health Organization is advising all augmented patients to check in with Lim. There's a problem with biochip technology.
The glitches I've been experiencing.
We've all had them. So far, I can't determine why.
You heading to a clinic?
I'm running a few more tests. But since I can't exactly run them on you, and we don't know when you'll be back, you might not want to wait. Up to you.
怎么花这么长时间？
怎么回事嘛？为什么我们还在这里没有动啊？天啊，那么多人！一定能进去的。你说得倒轻松了。如果我的生物片完全停止工作了，那我怎么办？啊？到时候我就变成一个蔬菜了。那不可能发生的。你也会被排到最前面的，相信我。 你的意思是，我被抬到那儿？希望当时。
You here for recall? There is problem with the peripheral nerve interface. We fixed with upgraded chip. You want it, yes?
I'll think about it.
Clinic is very busy, but if you want something else, we will service you. You're very welcome, sir.
Excuse me, Mr. Jensen? I am not mistaken. You are Mr. Jensen, right?
That depends. Who's asking?
I am sorry, Mr. Jensen. I am being impolite. My name is Wing Hui. I am a doctor here.
I can see that. What I really meant to ask is, how do you know who I am?
Yes, of course. Excuse me, for I am a bit nervous. Bell Tower agents were here a while ago, looking for a man who fits your description. When I heard what they were saying of you, it occurred to me that you might be exactly the person I need.
Need for what, exactly? Tread carefully, Doc, because I'm about one step away from losing my patience here.
No, please, you misunderstand. I only wish to talk to you about something. And it is not an easy subject to discuss, as it is a rather sensitive matter. Truly, Mr. Jensen, I would never force anyone to do something against their will. On that, you have my word.
Glad to hear it. So what's this all about then?
I'm afraid I won't be able to go into very much details. Not before I know you are really willing to help. But I need someone to help me to stop a very dangerous augmented soldier, and possibly his squad mates. If everything Bell Tower said of you is true, then you would seem the good fit for this job.
Fine, I'll do it. Just tell me more.
Thank you. Now please, understand that I am to give you sensitive information on multiple parties.
I understand, Doc. You can count on my discretion.
I appreciate it, Mr. Jensen. Obviously, you are familiar with Bell Tower and the role they have in this city. What you may not be familiar with, however, is the fact that sometimes they contract limb doctors like myself to work in private clinics on special projects.
What kind of special projects?
What you Americans call black operations. Bell Tower selects some of their best soldiers and make them to be super augmented with experimental, top-secret hardware.
Not to sound too jaded, Doc, but none of that comes as a big surprise. Stuff like that's been going on for years.
Yes. Your government and mine have both been guilty of this practice, I am sure. But Bell Tower is not a government. They are a private corporation. A private army on sale to the highest bidder.
Is this about stopping Bell Tower, then? Because as much as I might hate them right now, I'm only one man.
No. It is not all of Bell Tower I need help with. It is just one of their covert operatives, a man named Michael Zelazny. He was implanted with experimental hardware, and to an extent that is way beyond legal regulations. I am ashamed to say I have operated on him myself, and he has been used in countless secret operations for the Chinese and others.
Sounds like the type of man you don't want to see going out of control.
Precisely. Yet, about a month ago, I have heard rumors that Mr. Zelazny and part of his unit had gone rogue. And 2 weeks later, a city official was killed in a perfectly staged operation. I am certain it was them. And then, a few days ago, Mr. Zelazny contacted me himself. He needed urgent help with one of his squad mates' augmentations.
I take it you said you would help.
They sent me to the back store of a meat shop near Pandang Road, in the Yutzao district. There, I performed emergency repairs on one of the agent's augs, a servo replacement. I believe this back store is their hideout, Mr. Jensen. You must go there and make Mr. Zelazny hear reason.
I'll do what I can.
I am sure you are up to the task. Mr. Zelazny is a soldier, not a maniac. Your unique situation will no doubt resonate with him. And if things do turn sour and he must be terminated, I think you are quite a good candidate to get it done. Or at least survive.
你先听我说完。如果当时我们因为那些故障芯片都死翘翘了的话，你还能像现在这样站着聊天吗？
我才不管，这次我知道肯定是有什么地方出问题了，他们也广播了，我知道我没疯。
Hey you, I know you. I saw you on the tube. You're deep shit with Bell Tower, and they don't mess around.
One moment. You are not a harvester. We have had the occasional problem with them stealing from limb clinics.
"希望当时还有人有足够的力气去抬你。
The World Health Organization today issued an unprecedented recall on augmentation.
Maybe if some of those people had lost an arm in a work accident like Chan did, they wouldn't be so quick to criticize.
I know. But if they haven't lived it, it's easy for people to judge you and say, oh, you only want an augmented arm to get an advantage in life.
Well, they should understand, some people need arms to live a normal life. Chan would probably be on the street jobbers without us.
I just hope Lim won't have a problem fixing that glitch he's been experiencing.
Mr. Jensen, Hugh Darrow here. Please forgive this intrusion, but David assured me of your cooperation and discretion. I find myself in need of some assistance.
I'm listening.
A contact of mine, Meng Yao, is in Hengsha, waiting to fill you in. I'll upload her coordinates now.
有些事情很不对劲。
你为什么这么说？
你难道没发现所有钟楼平时出现在知青岗位上的警卫都不见了吗？而且这一下午，我一个收割者都没见到。
我听到留言说童的儿子失踪了，估计钟楼和山和会的联盟中又开始瓦解了。
Let's hope he's as good as they say. Mr. Jensen, right? Thank you for your time. I am Meng Yao, an associate of Mr. Darrow's. I'm in charge of one of his divisions here in Hengsha. You come highly recommended.
Really?
Your boss described you as a most precious asset. Apparently, you are very efficient and always get the job done. We could definitely use a man like you for this operation.
Let's hope his confidence is well placed then.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Mr. Darrow doesn't trust just anyone. We need you to help us stop a group of terrorists who are threatening the Panchaea project. It is not an easy task. Are you sure you are up to it?
Okay, I'll help out.
Excellent. Here's the situation. It has come to our attention that these terrorists possess highly classified proprietary information about Panchaea. We've been able to convince them to sell it to one of our agents, a man named Lo Fei. The meeting is supposed to take place near the Alice Garden Pods in the Daigong district.
And you want me to crash this meeting?
Actually, there will not be a meeting. We are sending you alone to ensure Mr. Fei's safety. The terrorists will not be expecting that and will have the information with them on a data chip. You have to neutralize all of the sellers and retrieve the chip so you can bring it to me.
I don't get it. If Faye set up the meeting, why risk sending me in his stead? Why doesn't he or even some of your other agents drop in on the sellers and take the chip?
Because Mr. Darrow wants an absolute guarantee that there will be no casualties. We will not play by their rules. We want them arrested and questioned, then properly prosecuted and sentenced. This will require stealth and efficiency. That's why a man with your particular skills will be indispensable.
Anything else I need to know?
The sellers are expecting Mr. Fei and Mr. Fei alone. If they spot you, they will shoot on sight. Need I point out this might make your job a lot harder?
Story of my life.
Access granted.
刚刚在这里洞里找到了我的票，潘奇亚正在招人。
Oh, you're kidding. You want to move to the Arctic?
不是啦，但他们会免费给我安装新装备。
Don't buy him that crap, man. It's indentured slavery. Hugh Darrow pays for your augments, and you spend the rest of your life working on his pet project to pay him back.
不会没完没了的，安装差不多做完了。
The first installation. For this whole global cooling thing to work, Darrow has to build a dozen more in oceans all over the place. Did you read the fine print?
我在电视上听说了，没有注解呀？难道没有好人？
Rumor has it that Hugh Darrow is going to hold some sort of surprise UN summit in Panchaea.
城里最好的价格。
Wonder what he's gonna say.
All I know is the guys on top are going to be watching with keen interest.
That's an understatement if I ever heard one. I can't see him supporting the vote for restrictions. The question is, which way do we want the vote to go?
If I knew who was actually in charge of our company, I might be able to help you with that one.
Back away, sir.
Hey, I know you. You're the one Bell Tower is looking for. I seen your picture.
You got the wrong guy.
What's it worth to you for me to think so? Be a simple thing for me to yell out. Maybe a few credits keep my mouth shut, huh?
How about I find some other way to keep it shut? Permanently.
That won't be necessary. I see now that you're much taller than the man they're looking for.
I thought you might see things that way. Now move it.
Ma'am, have you seen a heavily augmented white male tonight? Most likely wearing a long coat and dark glasses.
No. What is this all about?
This man is extremely dangerous. If you do see him, don't approach him. Just warn the nearest bell tower officer you can find. We'll handle it from there.
I'll be sure to do that. What is it he's supposed to have done?
That is none of your concern. Move along.
This is not the place for you. Get out, Lao Wei.
They send you?
If you're talking about your former buddies at Bell Tower, the answer is no.
Wait a minute. You're Jensen, right? I heard that some of my former buddies have been looking for you.
Could be. What's it to you?
When a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not do him wrong.
You've dropped the merc gig to become a man of the cloth?
Hardly. I just have an interest in theology. And I love quoting the book. Everything in it is so evocative. Now, tell me, are you here to stop me?
That I am.
Then perhaps you should reconsider. There are many of us, and only one of you. At this moment, my men and I have no quarrel with you. So you don't have to die for a war that isn't yours.
I said I was here to stop you, not fight you. A friend of yours sent me to convince you to turn yourself in.
Let me guess. Dr. Wing, right? He's a good man. And I know he's only trying to do what he thinks is right. But he doesn't quite grasp the whole picture here.
Then why don't you enlighten me? Start by explaining why you went rogue.
When an average man decides he no longer shares his employer's views and opts to leave, we say he's handing in his resignation. When men like us do the same, it's called going rogue. You can't quit a job like ours, Jensen. You know that.
Yeah, okay, I can relate. But you still haven't answered my question. And what do you mean when you say you no longer share your employer's view?
Back in the US, when I first got into the Army, I did it because I wanted to serve my country. I believed in its values. I believed in its government. Back then, I believed that by serving my government, I was serving the people it was supposed to protect.
Nice sentiment. But you don't work for the US anymore, you work for Bell Tower.
Times change, Jensen. You know the story. Capitalism's final encroachment on one of the most lucrative industries in the history of mankind. War got privatized. The US military offloaded its special operations to PMCs like Blue Water Global and Bell Tower. I believed that as long as they were working for the government, they were serving the same cause. So when they offered me the chance to work on major operations at twice the pay grade, I made my jump.
Why don't we just skip to when things went sour?
Bell Tower outfitted us with top-notch augmentations. The kind of stuff civilians never hear about. Gave us a massive edge over the enemy. Later, seeing as my unit was one of the most successful ones, they selected us for a special program. Top secret, experimental tech. Told us we would get to work on critical black ops for the US government. But there was a price to pay.
Go on.
We had to be implanted with a neural hub that manipulates memory centers in the brain. Basically controlling what you can and cannot remember.
And you agreed to this?
Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. The augmentation was supposed to keep us safe, make sure we'd never remember details if we fell behind enemy lines. That was the main function. The second one, the one they didn't tell us about, was to lower our inhibitions. Make us more receptive to orders we'd likely disobey. Bell Tower turned us into the perfect mercs.
If you were so perfect, and the hub made you so perfect, how did it fail? How come they didn't outfit the whole agency?
I told you the tech was experimental. After a couple of ops, I started experiencing memory shifts, remembering bits and fragments of past operations. Slowly, I realized some of these operations couldn't logically have been orchestrated by the government, and was asked to do highly questionable things, even by professional standards.
Aren't we all?
Not like this, Jensen. Our services have been sold to corrupt officials in the American and Chinese governments. A combination of lies and use of the neural aug made sure we complied. We were working for a shadow government, individuals corrupted by a quest for personal power.
So how'd you get out of it?
I confronted the project director. He quoted Apocalypse Now. You have to have men who are moral, and at the same time who are able to utilize their primordial instincts to kill without feeling. I forced him to disconnect the hub, for me and my squad mates here. And then I killed him. I went through his files and contacts. I know who these corrupt men are now. They've turned us into killing machines, and now they'll get to experience their experiment firsthand.
Dr. Wing said our situations would resonate. I don't think he realized it might go both ways. Some men deserve the justice we bring on them. Do what you have to do, Zelazny. I won't get in your way.
I appreciate that, Jensen. I didn't want you to die for a cause that isn't yours. These men I killed, and these men I'm going to kill. They have names, families, they're people. Their deaths shouldn't be erased from my memory by some electronic software. They should haunt me, taunt me, until I finally meet our Lord and pay for my sins. But the men behind this, they deserve to die. And I think there's poetry in the fact that they engineered their own demise. Hey, Jensen. Zelazny here.
Zelazny? How'd you get this frequency?
You're no stranger to top-secret augmentations, Jensen. You figure it out. In the meantime, just want to let you know I've contacted some of my old pals at Bell Tower. Got them to reassign a couple of local patrols. You should have a few less problems to deal with for a while.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
Back away, sir. This is none of your business.
Come out!
Back away, sir. None of your business.
Only raises more questions about the problem of human enhancement. Is this the beginning of a complete technological breakdown, or just another glitch? this widespread defect, coming so soon after the recent only
我要求做手术。
about the problem of human enhancement.
So? You have found Zelazny? I cannot stress enough the importance of this task, Mr. Jensen.
I found him.
Really, Mr. Jensen? You have been able to make him understand reason? Will he turn himself in?
It's a long story, Doc. I tracked Zelazny and his men. They were hiding in the sewers. And after talking to him, I decided to let him go.
What? But he is a dangerous man, Mr. Jensen. You should not have done this.
The men Zelazny's after are far more dangerous than he is. His methods are extreme, but I think his cause is justified. To be honest, Doc, I believe what he wants isn't that different from you. An honorable government free of corruption. They could use a man like you.
I had not foreseen such a thing. I don't know, Mr. Jensen. You seem to believe that the end justifies the means, but I don't know. I'll have to think about this. Here is a praxis kit. It's all I have.
Returning to tonight's biggest story, the World Health Organization.
You must get that chip back, Mr. Jensen.
You've been working for Darrow a long time. How do you like it?
Working for a powerful man ensures I am trusted with crucial tasks and involved in world-shaping events. It's quite exhilarating. You, of all people, should understand this.
What kind of information are we talking about here? What could people be so eager to sell?
I am not at liberty to say.
Any idea who these sellers are?
Nothing substantial. We have a hunch they might be linked to Taiyong Medical, but the data chip will allow us to know for sure.
How's that?
All of our data chips are encoded with unique IDs and binary signature recognition. This means we'll be able to know exactly where it came from and where it went.
I got the chip. The sellers are out cold.
Excellent work. Seems Mr. Darrow was right to trust you. We will send people to take care of the terrorists. Could I see the chip?
How about you tell me what's on it first?
Blackmail, Mr. Jensen? Don't waste your time. I won't tell you anything. Besides, there are stones better left unturned. Might as well just give me the chip and leave it at that.
Look, you're a powerful young woman. You're in a position that warrants your access to classified information. I understand that not everybody should get their hands on this, but I'm like you. I work for a powerful man, and I get entrusted with secret information on a daily basis. Plus, I'm the one who busted his ass getting this chip for you.
I guess your point is not entirely without merit. But understand, this information is extremely confidential. It concerns Panchaea, and more specifically, the Hiron Project.
Hiron Project? Never heard of it.
I'm not surprised. It is a well-guarded secret. But without it, Panchaea could not exist. Such an ambitious project. An installation extending all the way to the ocean floor. The pressure exerted against it is constantly shifting. Yet the slightest defect in structural integrity could bring it all down. That's why we needed something powerful and extremely efficient to monitor it, day and night.
You're saying the Hiron Project is some kind of advanced computer?
Yes, I suppose you could say that.
Thank you for your honesty. The information is safe with me, don't worry. Here's your data chip.
Ah, perfect. You don't know what this means, Mr. Jensen. Your help has been invaluable. Thank you. Even though this was a favor for Mr. Darrow, he believes you should be duly rewarded. Here is a payment in credits. I'm sure Mr. Darrow will wish to congratulate you himself. Expect to hear from him soon.